Hello again, I'm Bob Weir with another interview of People in the News in North Texas. My guest today is Highland Village attorney William Brotherton, who recently returned from Scotland after serving as marshal at the British Open golf tournament. Thank you for being here, William.
Hey, I'm happy to be here, Bob.
As you see, we have your paddle from over there saying, quiet please. If you would just give us a short background information on yourself.
Sure. A little different, I suppose. 40 years ago, I was a brakeman conductor for the Burlington Northern Railroad and ended up as a train master, and then left the railroad and became an environmental engineer and moved to Texas in '85. And in '89, a new law school started up, and I was in the first class of what is now Texas A&M University School of Law. So started my own firm in '97. We've grown and we have cases all across the country, and it gets me all around. So, but at the same time, I enjoy golf, the exercise, and walk a lot with my carry bag at the Grapevine Golf Course. That's what got me involved in working at the Masters and working at the Open. Now, it's interesting because we in the U.S. call it the British Open, but of course in the U.K. they refer to it as the Open.
Just
so
the Open, yeah.
You have to be careful not to say British Open over there.
Right. And so tell us, how did a Texan like you get invited to serve at the British Open?
Well, I belong to the Abenaki Nation of Missisquoi in Vermont, and where I serve on tribal council, and I'm also an adopted member of the Spirit Lake Sioux. So I had written an email to the head pro at Carnoustie after Jordan Spieth won the last Open, and said, hey, I'd like to get involved as a marshal. And so I was contacted by the Royal and Ancient, which is the governing body of golf throughout the world except in the US and Mexico, where it's the PGA. And we quickly worked to secure a spot for me as a marshal.
And you do have that Native American heritage, and you belong to a couple of tribes, I understand, right?
I am an enrolled member of the Missisquoi Abenaki in Vermont, and then I had represented a number of Sioux tribal members in North Dakota, including from Spirit Lake, when we tackled the attempts by the University of North Dakota to change the Fighting Sioux name. Turns out the Sioux liked the Fighting Sioux name. Unfortunately, there was a lot of pressure by the NCAA to change the name, and we weren't successful in changing the name. But because of my efforts on behalf of Sioux members, I was made an adopted member of the Spirit Lake Sioux.
So your Native American heritage has had an influence on your life. And you also, you wrote a book about the railroads a few years ago, right?
I did. When I started trying cases after becoming an attorney, I would tell railroad stories, North Dakota and Montana and Wyoming railroad stories, and folks liked hearing those stories. And so after writing a series of articles for Trains magazine, I was contacted by the owner of South Platte Press, a publisher of railroad history, and he said, can you turn it into a book? I was able to write the book in about 6 months. It's now in its second printing and sells all over the world. So the name of the book is Burlington Northern Adventures, Railroading in the Days of the Caboose. Long title.
That had to be great adventures in those days.
Oh, riding locomotives and cabooses.
Isn't that
just
every young man's dream?
Oh, absolutely. Really? Absolutely.
To get back to your Native American heritage, tell us, what is a sweat lodge?
Sweat lodge is in Native American life But it's also used by other folks outside of Native American culture. But it's a structure where a fire is built in the center of the structure, and water is boiled on the fire to create tremendous heat, and the heat is used to drive out the bad things in your body and provide a spiritual cleansing.
Sounds like a steam room.
It is, absolutely.
Okay, and of course you mentioned that you're an adopted member of the Sioux Nation, and they have a name they call you, a special name.
That's, they gave me the name, the Medicine Man. We had, after the Sweat Lodge ceremony, we had what's called a Chanupa ceremony, where Chanupa is a sacred pipe, and we smoked tobacco and passed it around, and then the Medicine Man pronounced my name of Tasunkamaza, which means iron horse.
Iron horse, like the railroad.
That's correct.
That's what they call the railroad.
The Medicine Man had read my book.
That's why. Good. Now let's get into your English heritage, Sir William.
Well, and our family comes through Sir Thomas of Brotherton. And a little bit of history of the Brotherton name. In the Yorkshire area of England, there was a large monastery, and during the feudal ages, townspeople flocked to the monastery to provide services to the monks. And so as people gathered in this community, it became known as Brothers Town, and ultimately got shortened over the years to Brotherton. And so Sir Thomas of Brotherton, who was from that area and took the name of Brotherton, his father was one of the English kings, and then later one of my ancestors was a guy by the name of Lord Edward Brotherton, who founded the Brotherton Library at the University of Leeds.
Wow, that's quite a heritage all around. Now, I know that you've worked at Masters for many years. Was it at Augusta? Is that one of the Augusta?
That's it's been there over 80 years,
right.
And it's started by Bobby Jones, and of course it's an invitational tournament, so only the folks that Augusta wants
right.
to come to the tournament and play in it. So it's a very exclusive tournament.
Right, and you did that for many years. So what was different about the British Open?
The British Open, or the Open, as the Scots and the Brits like to call it, because it's different from the U.S. Open.
Right.
It's a tournament that's open to a wider variety of golfers, and the biggest difference, some of the biggest differences, is that with the Open, anybody can walk up and get a ticket the day of the tournament, even on Sundays. Augusta, it's restricted tickets because Bobby Jones always wanted a smaller crowd to watch golf, so that there wouldn't be people feeling crowded while they were watching golf. He wanted a complete experience. With the Open, there's a lot more people, and of course different food, like fish and chips.
All right, yes. Some rapid fire stuff. Who won the British Open?
Francisco Molinari,
Okay. And
the first Italian.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Tiger Woods was in that too,
Tiger
right?
Woods was making a run, and we thought he was going to be in a playoff.
All right, I want to ask you about what was it like swimming at Loch Ness, where the monster is supposed to be?
You know, beautiful place. The water was 46 degrees. The air temperature was 54. I
Ooh.
spent almost 3 weeks over there, and it never really got warm. It was exhilarating.
Okay,
Absolutely
okay.
exhilarating.
That's great, and there are some great photos that you have, and I have it on the link in the written portion of the article. I'm getting the high sign that time's up, so these interviews go so quickly. You're an interesting guy, William. Always enjoy being with you.
Hey, you bet, Bob.
Thank
Thanks.
you so much, and thank you for watching.